Yeah.
And Archie.
Yeah.
You know, Archie was underground for 5 years in the party underground, so during the McCarthy era.
Mm-hmm.
And I had 4 children.
Right.
I had a good family, good parents.
You remember the Spanish Civil War?
Well, sure, I was already married, and I didn't have any children yet. My first child was born. Arch came back in December of 38, and Doug was born in December of 39. And 3 more children in years after that. I had 4 children. And he had a hard time getting to Spain. He couldn't get a passport. We went down to the passport division, but nothing came of it. So he went to New York anyway, and they were going to try and arrange it, but couldn't. So he came back, and then he went again. And that time he stowed away on a German ship. I can't remember the name of it. And there were I think 3 guys who had been in Spain already and had come home and then were going back. One of whom, damn it, you know, I'm too old. A lot of things slip out of my head. Bill, damn it. See, now I can't think of it. Frida, what the hell is Frida's husband's name? Those 2 guys came back, and then they both went back, and I think there were 3 guys and Archie stowed away on this German ship, and I can't remember which one it was. And of course, they covered for him. They fed him, and so they took care of him, and they all got off in. Excuse me.
That's all right.
In I guess, I don't know, Hamburg or wherever they left. And
Did the crew help them?
no, they didn't involve the crew.
Right.
They just had these guys. They didn't.
Right.
They didn't involve the crew, and it worked out fine. They got to Paris, and they got sent on their way over the Pyrenees and into Spain.
You were living here then? You've always lived here?
No, I didn't live in this house.
No, but in
No, well, we lived in San Francisco.
Mm-hmm.
Archie and I married in February of 36,
Mm-hmm.
and he went to Spain. I think he went late in 37, but he didn't get there till 38 because he had to come home. He couldn't get. They had to come back and then go again. So I think he got there in early 38, and he was home in December when they pulled him out. So.
What did you feel?
Yeah.
What did you feel when he was going to go to Spain? Were you worried?
Well, no. I mean, I was young and enthusiastic and very pro the Loyalists, and Actually, I found out that Evelyn Hutchins went to Spain as an ambulance driver. They tried to make her a nurse. She wasn't a nurse. But I have been driving a car since I think the first time we were stopped, I was driving a truck, and my dad was sitting next to me, and I think I was all of 13. And we lived in Southern California, and that's where I grew up. And I could drive any kind of equipment. I was raised on a farm, So I thought I should go to Spain and be an ambulance driver, but they laughed. And I found out that Evelyn, they tried to make her, as a matter of fact, I'm just rereading that picture book of the 2 guys. What? Let me get it. It's driving.
I know
Well,
that.
this is the second edition of it.
Right.
I have the earlier one. Anyway, I picked it up the other day and started reading it, looking through the pictures, and that's it. So, anyway, I didn't go to Spain, but I was surely a friend and a supporter of it.
Mm-hmm.
And Arch was very good about writing, and I was very good about writing, and we had scads of letters between us, now in the archives.
Mm-hmm.
And my sister, my oldest sister, who was in Southern California, she was head of the medical committee for Spain, and her husband also went to Spain. And so I have my nephew, as a matter of fact, you asked me about his picture.
Mm-hmm.
So his father was in Spain. He was an organizer for mine mill and smelter workers for
Mm-hmm.
many, many years. And he died several years ago. And his wife, who's now 95, is still alive. And so Spain is very close to me.
Did you come from a progressive family?
Yeah, my parents were. As a matter of fact, both my father and mother were born in Russia.
Mhm.
They're Russian Jews, and my father was at some kind of a get together. I don't know how underground it was. Now this is talking 18. I think he was born in 1875, so maybe somewhere in there. I think like he was 18 years old. He was at some kind of a gathering in which they were all arrested. And I think he was 18 months in a czar's jail. And then he got out, had tuberculosis. Finally, he and my mother got out and came to New York, and then he wanted to be in California, but he wanted to be a farmer. So first he had to get to California, and then he had to go to Arizona and dry out, see if he could get rid of his tuberculosis, which he did. And then finally, my father's sister and my mother's brother married a brother and sister. So we have this combination of a brother and sister married another sister and brother. So this is my nephew Greg Goddard is a product of one of those. And so anyway, that's the way it is. So they got to California. My dad got to Arizona and dried out and got rid of his tuberculosis. And he and my uncle, I think they had a route to go around with a horse and wagon selling oranges or whatever. And finally they got enough money between them that they had an opportunity to buy land. They each bought 5 acres next to each other in Ontario, which is where I was born. And then my dad farmed. My uncle wanted to be a doctor, and he, who was married to my dad's sister, she died in a few years, and my uncle went to L.A. and he got a job in the movies and developing film or something like that. And finally he was able to go to med school and he became a doctor. So that's finished with him. My dad stayed on the land. They had 6 children. I was the youngest of the 6. They had a son and well, actually they had 2 sons and 4 daughters. So and then they were Reds, they were lefties. They were known when there was a big strike in Southern California. Somebody always came to my dad and see if we could get some milk or vegetables or blah 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 to help the strikers to keep the soup kitchen going. And then so they were always always involved in one thing or another, and so was I, and so were well, not all of them, but my oldest brother didn't get interested in it, and my younger brother, he was some. But anyway, we were a kind of left-wing family.